Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
And on today's show, we are so pleased to have Matt Rader here, president of the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society.
The PHS does so much more than just a flower show.
So stay tuned, and we'll be back in the garden with Matt right after this. Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com. Does your garden have planting insurance? It can now with Biotone Starter Plus from Espoma. It's the ultimate starter plant food. The secret is a special blend of natural organic plant food, beneficial microbes, and mycorrhizal fungi. The result? Plants grow faster, roots grow deeper, flowers and vegetables flourish. Best of all, every Espoma product is safe for people, pets, and the planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you. Biotone Starter Plus from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Matt, welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. We're so happy to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here with you.
Great.
Yeah, I tell you what, I feel like there's royalty, here on this show. I mean,
that's right.
Again, you've come an interesting journey to get to the position. You're 37th president, and
wow.
How many years has?
I'm in my fourth year now.
Fourth year?
Started
Wow.
in January 2016.
And PHS started
1827. November 24th
Wow.
is our birthday.
Wow, happy
Wow.
birthday! Came from an area, Mercersburg, PA. Like near Gettysburg, that way?
Yeah, South Central PA, out in the mountains, right on the Maryland border. A very beautiful part of the state. Lots of dairy farming and agriculture.
Wow, nice. Getting farm boys out to the city.
Yeah, isn't it something?
It's a good thing because
Mm-hmm.
we've been doing this, and our listeners know that over 30 years and come from a background. There's no other organization, and again, from New York area, that does the job that PHS does. Oh. And it's not, and everybody listening, this is not going to be about the flower show. Mm-hmm. There is so much more, and there's many more dynamic things that you all do. I mean, just incredible. Just incredible. But you really don't come from a farming background. You have, and I think before we got started, I said I was going to tease you about your major, that if my kids came home asking about a major in architectural history, I think I would have been panicked.
That's right.
But it served you well because you went from University of Virginia to Wharton for your MBA.
Wow.
Yeah, so I, as you said, did my undergrad studies in architectural history, which is looking at old buildings and old places, which have always fascinated me.
That would be fun.
And then made an early career looking at historic places really in Philadelphia, Fairmount Park, the East Passyunk neighborhood in South Philadelphia, and thinking about how to help revitalize those communities and make it possible for people to enjoy living and working in these historic places as a wonderful places to live.
Wow. And to me, it's the older buildings are so beautiful. And I've said on the show that my daughter went to Villanova, and to see the addition that Villanova is putting on and the fact that it matches across the street. I didn't think we could still do it, but we can.
Wow.
We can do work like that. It just doesn't have to be steel. But where, I guess, in the world or wherever you spent on your journey, where were you fascinated most by the buildings?
It's interesting. So for me, it's building and landscape. So if you think of historic towns or historic cities, how it all comes together. And I grew up in an 18th century town, like we talked about, with very old buildings and beautiful farming landscapes around it. And then had the opportunity when I was 19 to go to a last year of high school in England at an incredible school called Stowe that's also a historic landscape garden. So this amazing landscape with temples and plants and lakes and a really wonderful place to live and work. And I think for me, that was a really inspiring place. And it's also a place where landscape and garden and building all came together in just a magical way.
Wow. And so this started in high school, that fascination.
I was a history dork and a historic building dork
Yeah?
way back into childhood. Lots of historic sites and historic house museums. My brother was a sort of military history buff too, so we spent a lot of time exploring historic places.
That's fantastic. In the age of social studies, I think we need a little more history.
More of that,
That Fairmount Park Historic Preservation Trust.
Yeah, so my first jobs in Philadelphia took me into Fairmount Park, and for listeners in this area, I think you know the park well. It's an amazing system of parks stretching across the city of Philadelphia. And my specific job, I was working in West Fairmount Park in a historic sheep barn out in the woods. And it was amazing. And our job was to figure out how to help restore and revitalize historic buildings in the park. So there's many things from farmhouses and barns to grand mansions in the park that need investment, need users to make them active. And so we were working hard to bring new organizations, businesses, et cetera, into those buildings so that the park would be well used by more people.
The park's big, right? How?
It's an amazing system. I think it's 10,000 acres, something like that, of which about half is the main East and West Fairmount Park, which are along the Schuylkill River from Boathouse Row up to City Avenue.
New York area, Central Park. I mean, this is
much.
Oh my gosh, it's so much bigger than Central Park.
Big.
Massive landscapes. You know, natural areas, active play areas, cultural institutions. The whole 9 yards are within the park, and it's a really incredible resource for people in this region to enjoy. And the city of Philadelphia does a fantastic job sort of managing and activating it for everyone.
Just from somebody on the outside, that I don't think Philadelphia does enough to, and maybe it's done, but their commercials are very historical things. I mean, the park system and the gardens that we have, which we're going to get into a segment later. I mean, for tourists, they could spend their entire trip visiting the parks.
You can, and you know, many people do, and like I say, I think the city's Parks and Rec department does just an extraordinary job of trying to bring the parks to life. But for any of us here or visitors, you know, taking your bike, walking, hanging out, walking through the woods, there's just so much you can do right here for free in our public parks.
Right.
Wow. That's great, isn't it?
Right. It is.
Cool.
It is. We are so fortunate to live in an area, and Philadelphia is an amazing town. I mean, all of you out there know it because you live here, but it's something to rediscover it. I mean, sometimes, you know, you forget that of what a great town this is.
It is,
you know, because you think about the Eagles and you think about the Phillies, who hopefully they make the playoffs. It's not looking good. Anyway, that this is a sports station. But the fact of the parks and the system, and that we're going to get more about PHS, but it's so dynamic. It's not just one or two, and it's not something that's just connected to the zoo, although it is connected to the zoo.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And that one of the things I noticed when I was preparing for the show, that you have a new, my gosh, this gentleman has a title that's pretty long, Vice President of Public Horticulture.
Yeah. So one of the things PHS does is within the park system and elsewhere, we have a whole network of public gardens and landscapes that are really available to everyone for free to come out and enjoy plants. And some of the ones people might know are Logan Circle, which is right in the center of Philadelphia, the Azalea Garden, which is behind the Art Museum, the Philadelphia Navy Yard, which we manage for the PIDC, and also Meadowbrook Farm, which is our garden and nursery up in Jenkintown. Wow. So all of these gardens they're gardens. They're beautiful places, ornamental plants, trees, offered for free as a real benefit to everybody who lives here. And Andrew Bunting is going to join our team at the end of October and take leadership of that to make sure that those gardens are horticulturally always getting more and more exceptional, and also that there's great programming and experiences for people to come to them and learn and discover a new plant they love, a new idea, a new design idea that they hadn't thought about, and really take that home and do more.
Andrew has my dream job.
Yeah. All right. Come and visit. We always love visitors and friends.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you, and again, if you have not been to any of the arboretums or the parks or anything, at least get up to the pop-up gardens.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, you can drink at the pop-up gardens.
Yeah,
Brett, right?
You can eat.
You're ready. Yeah. Brett shaking his head. Yes.
Yeah.
But when we come back, there's more than just gardens to what the PHS does, and we'll be right back right after this message. Is your yard and landscape being destroyed by nuisance animal pests? If so, Bonide has a product to solve that problem. Repelzol is an all-natural repellent that works on deer, rabbits, skunks, squirrels, chipmunks, raccoons, and many other nuisance animals. It stays effective for up to 2 months. The all-natural ingredients in Repelzol use smell, taste, and irritation to keep animals away. Unlike other repellents, Repelzol has no unpleasant odor. Repelzol natural formula can be applied to trees, shrubs, perennials, and around edible crops. It also works to prevent animals from chewing on fences and structures. Repelzol is so effective that your satisfaction is guaranteed. Repelzol is available in a concentrate, ready-to-use, and ready-to-spray liquid formulations, and in an easy-to-use granule in a 3-pound shaker and a 6-pound bag for spreader applications. Bonide products are family-made in America. Look for Repelzol products at these fine stores: Animals and Gardens Unlimited, New Egypt, New Jersey; Berlin Agway, Berlin, New Jersey; Spots Hardware, Medford, New Jersey.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center for the best selection of summer flowering perennials anywhere. Coneflowers in colors as vast as the rainbow. Reblooming daylilies in all the best varieties. Giant hardy hibiscus with flowers that measure 12 inches across. Make sure to visit our water garden department. Fish plants and water treatments that will keep your pond beautiful and crystal clear. Thinking about a new filter, UV, or water feature? Bloomers has them all in stock. Need to replace that sterilizer bulb? Bloomers carries a wide selection to match your model UV. Fall decorations are starting to roll in. Wind chimes, flags, and more. Bloomers has been selected the best of the best garden center by South Jersey Magazine. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township today. Just 30 minutes from Philadelphia. Find more information at bloomers.com. That's bloomers.com.
Well, welcome back. There's so much that PHS does, and I found one thing particularly interesting. Hot topic. Malcolm Jenkins of the Eagles is big on prison reform.
Yep.
And PHS does something that's called Routes to Reentry.
Yeah.
Explain that.
So Routes to Reentry is an amazing program that started more than 10 years ago. And the basic idea was that horticulture and landscaping was a really good set of job skills for somebody to learn, whether they want to do that professionally or just build strong experience working with a team, solving problems, working outdoors, etc. So the program has two pieces. We work in the prisons in Philadelphia. We have a farm and a greenhouse and a small orchard, and we do drop-in education with currently incarcerated people. We also do a formal training program that happens while people are still incarcerated. And then after release, we work with these people who have returned to the community as interns. We pay them. They work with us on our public gardens and landscapes around the city. They build more skills, both horticulture skills, but also how to interview, write a resume, deal with conflict, all these things. And then they leave with us as a reference, us as a place of experience, and we try to place them with contractors that we work with, many on vacant land that we manage around the city. So through this program, somebody can get a real step forward in building job skills, having a reference, and then up to a year or more of employment through the program.
That's incredible. I mean, because those skills just are not. First of all, as an employer in the horticulture industry, I cannot find people with those skills.
Yeah.
They're either already employed. There is a tremendous Hispanic workforce that is shrinking. And so that pool that we're looking for, and I know that even the commercial nurseries are having trouble finding employees to work the farms that are in Bridgeton and the nurseries that are in Bridgeton, and that they want people that are skilled, and that to give somebody a leg up and a reference from the Philadelphia Horticulture Society is tremendous.
Yes.
Tremendous.
You're not alone. There's something like 30%-ish of jobs in the horticulture industry go unfilled for lack of talent. So we talked about degrees early on, and if anybody is thinking about a horticulture degree, it's a good one to do because there are good jobs both at entry level and much higher levels. And there's a great program called Seed Your Future that's trying to get people interested in and exposed to horticulture jobs. So we're happy to help.
Now, expand on that a little more.
Talk more about that. So the horticulture industry, as you have experienced as an employer, is facing a shortage of talent. I think there are many perceptions about what jobs are available in horticulture. There's concerns about wages, et cetera. And so a lot of people have chosen not to go into horticulture degree programs, and many universities have actually stopped their horticulture degree programs for lack of interest. So the industry has come together through something called Seed Your Future that Longwood Gardens has actually been a leader, and I sit on an advisory group nationally, and there's a lot of industry players as well who are trying to go out there and say to kids from middle school up, working with plants is awesome. And whatever you want to do, whether it's maintaining a big league sports field or hybridizing the next plant or working in a laboratory or doing sales and marketing, right? There's a place for you in this industry, and it's an industry that will fascinate you and allow you to grow. So trying to go out there and basically market to kids that this is an exciting opportunity. So Routes to Reentry is one little piece of that puzzle, but across the board trying to make this a field people want to pursue.
I'm trying to, with our customers, to basically a landscaper is a tradesman, or a horticulturist is a tradesman, where if you have a plumber, electrician, those fields are, they're $50, $100 an hour. I don't know for a time, but where somehow it's looked down upon, where landscaping should be a lot less, but yet the artistry it takes and that it is a technical thing. It's not that people can't learn it, but a professional in the landscape horticulture industry deserves his wages.
Yes.
And I just find that it somehow has been denigrated over the years to not being that valuable. And I'm not really sure why.
I think there's two sides to this coin, and it's one I walk cautiously. So you've got professional expertise that is hugely valuable and should be rewarded appropriately. But with horticulture, you also have the gift that anybody can put their hands in the dirt and start.
Yes.
Right? And so what you don't want to do is discourage somebody from doing that. But you also want to encourage them to seek
every
out.
weekend.
Exactly. So you want to say, look, anybody can do this, and we want you to do it and get started. But there's also people who really do have a huge knowledge base from whom you can learn and, as you say, deserve their wages and support. So I think sometimes it's seen as just the amateur side, and sometimes the professional expertise goes away. But I think celebrating both is a way to move forward. And the more you get experts out there in the world, something we try to do in the flower show and through our education and classes and workshops is get experts interacting with people who want to learn. And that builds a sense of mutual respect and appreciation for one another that I think helps address the issue you're talking about.
I like with employees, and Julio, you can attest to this, where I want them to look at not Bloomers the Garden Center or the radio show, Bloomers in the Garden. I want them to look at the whole industry and be exposed to the management side, to be exposed. I mean, how many times have you been to Louisville, to the management clinics, or to where, I mean, we're going back some time, but to different educational things. So
Sure.
To be a professional in this industry, it's pretty, it's hard, but it's rewarding,
Yes,
as well.
very much.
Yes.
Yeah. Now the Roots to Reentry is tied into City Harvest because they.
So Roots to Reentry, we talked a little bit about, and one aspect of that is the farm we operate in the prison complex in Philadelphia. And that farm propagates a lot of plants, some share of 250,000 seedlings that we give away every year through the City Harvest program, which is one component of our community gardens work. So across Philadelphia and the region, there are hundreds of community gardens where people have come together with neighbors to create often vegetable gardens on vacant land. And we help support those people to get organized, learn how to grow, build raised beds, get water access, preserve their land, etc. And one of the things we do together is City Harvest, where we provide organic seedlings, 250,000. We provide compost and soil, and we educate the community gardeners in organic vegetable gardening. And then those gardeners will grow those seedlings up into produce, which in turn they donate to food pantries, soup kitchens, etc. So it's more than 120 sites that are growing through City Harvest, and they're in turn giving to something like 160 sites that make that produce into food that's available for people who don't otherwise have access to fresh food. So
That's incredible.
It's a really amazing system of PHS trying to inject a little, plant supplies and knowledge, and people really working hard to give back to the community in a big way.
Wow. So everybody out there, it's more than just a flower show.
It is.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit more right after this. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for the Bloomers Garden Minute. The Garden Minute is brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Philadelphia Garden Radio. Find us on the radio dial or on the web at bloomers.com.
This is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden for the Garden Minute. The summertime, the flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, the garden is yielding its bounty. Yeah, but the weeds are growing and the bugs are feeding and breeding. Next year's crop of insects are laying eggs and the weeds are dropping seeds all over your lawn, landscape, and garden. Those insects plan to host a family reunion right in your yard next summer. The weeds are planning a reunion of their own if you don't control them now. Insects want multiple generation, weeds too. Taking care of today's insects and weeds seeds means no descendants next year. Don't pass up this opportunity to control next year's pests now. Get out to Bloomers or your local area independent garden center today for help getting those pests under control. Cancel that reunion and make your home and yard care even easier next year. This is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden for the Garden Minute, and we'll see you in the garden.
Today's Garden Minute was brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Also brought to you by VPG, the Fertilome people.
Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
All right, folks, we are back with Matt Rader from the Philadelphia Horticultural Society, the president. And a couple weeks ago, Matt, Len, and I took, as we were leaving the show, we took a little detour and went to Bartram's Arboretum.
Bartram's Gardens. It was
unbelievable.
It was nice.
Yeah.
it not just nice. It was a bit of history.
Yeah. Yes.
Tell us about and when we were there. Let me just quick say, we got a passport to all of the arboretums and gardens throughout the whole Delaware Valley, including some in New Jersey, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So Philadelphia region is America's garden capital. We have more than 30 public gardens and arboreta within 30 miles of City Hall. And It's an incredible collection. So if you're somebody who loves plants or wants to just spend some quality time outdoors, looking at the America's Garden Capital website, grabbing the passport, which tells you each of the gardens and gives you a chance to get a stamp when you visit, and also some tips on what to look for. It's a great way to really plot an adventure through the whole region for you and your family. And the amazing part is they cover the gamut from Bartram's Garden, which is an incredible historical place and a beautiful garden and community farm, to places like Longwood Gardens or Chanticleer, which are just exceptional display gardens, and to Arboreta with amazing collections like Scott Arboretum in Swarthmore, or even PHS's own Meadowbrook Farm in Abington Township, which is just a jewel box of a small scale formal garden. So whatever you're looking for, it's out there somewhere in this collection of gardens in America's Garden Capital.
What I was so surprised with Bartram is that it is not like in a pristine, I think there's a industrial park across the street. And what was amazing is, like, I didn't know it. And I saw a field trip there. There were a bunch of kids that were there and they were excited to be there. I mean, how many gems like that?
So many, right? And Bartram's Garden, like you say, is this amazing place that's older than the neighborhoods that surround it, right? It was there early on in history, really America's first botanical garden, and the Bartrams were traveling all around the North America and collecting plants and then propagating them and exporting them. And so it's got this amazing history. Then Philadelphia grew up around it.
Yeah.
And now for the people who live there, it is a really special park. It's a really special place for them to grow food. There's a large community farm. And they even have on the weekends a free boating program where you can get out on the river.
I want to know who insures that.
Yeah. Look it up. But again, gardens are this chance, for people to really connect with nature and plants and get out in the world and
and that garden, that boating program, you don't need your own boat. You just
show up and enjoy.
Show up. Wow.
And there's volunteers and there's support and right. It's just encouraging everybody to just come out and explore.
It's right. It is it's incredible spot.
It is.
It is incredible spot because it is, it feels inner city until you enter the gardens, and then you're reading about the history where Tom and George and Ben, they're all staging plants back in the 1700s, and that where they went in Continental Congress, took a break, said, all right, we're fighting enough. Let's go over to Bartram's. That's a garden center's owner's dream, I tell you. But,
more time in the garden is a good thing for everybody, right?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
And that to understand our own history of where we come from and that where before the Revolutionary War, it was King George that made him a royal botanist.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact title, but King's botanist or royal botanist.
Yeah.
And he was collecting plants from North America and then exporting them to Europe, where
Bartram's
they were
box.
sort of
Yeah,
fascinating
Bartram's box.
specimens, right? These were the unusual and exotic plants of their day.
Wow.
And that is 30 miles radius outside of Philadelphia, and that is one out of 36 different gardens and arboretums.
It's incredible. And as we were saying, whether it's a specific plant you love, like hosta or conifers or whatever, or it's that you want a formal garden or a wilderness, they're all there. So go to the website, grab the passport, and you'll find some gardens that you can love.
And it's fun because you discover these things where no, everybody's heard of Longwood, but there's all of these other ones that you maybe haven't been to, or they're part of other gardens, like the Japanese garden.
Shofuso Japanese House and Garden in Fairmount Park, right in West Philadelphia. You can find yourself in a very traditional Japanese house and garden.
Wow.
And then around the corner, you can look at sculpture and beautiful sort of Victorian bedding plants in the Horticulture Center. So it's quite an array.
Wow.
Incredible.
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 Yeah, it is.
Everybody go out your front door and go to a garden. You can probably find one just a few blocks away.
And important, a lot of them are free. So some certainly have paid admission to support their operations, but there are many, many free gardens there. So and many close to trains and bus access as well. So they really are accessible to just about. One I love is Scott Arboretum at Swarthmore. If you haven't been there, it's the campus of Swarthmore College, but it's also an arboretum with incredible plant collections and this amazing alley of gigantic swamp white oaks that on a summer day is just the most exquisite place to be. And it starts right at the train station, so it's kind of a lovely place to go.
We gotta go there.
So there you go.
Yeah.
No Uber, right from the train. That's
There
great. All right. We unfortunately are going to have to take another break, but we'll be right back right after this.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Is your yard and landscape being destroyed by nuisance animal pests? If so, Bonite has a product to solve that problem. Repelzol is an all-natural repellent that works on deer, rabbits, skunks, squirrels, chipmunks, raccoons, and many other nuisance animals. It stays effective for up to 2 months. The all-natural ingredients in Repelzol use smell, taste, and irritation to keep animals away. Unlike other repellents, Repelzol has no unpleasant odor. Repelzol natural formula can be applied to trees, shrubs, perennials, and around edible crops. It also works to prevent animals from chewing on fences and structures. Repelzol is so effective that your satisfaction is guaranteed. Repelzol is available in a concentrate, ready to use, and ready to spray liquid formulations, and in an easy-to-use granule in a 3-pound shaker and a 6-pound bag for spreader applications. Bonide products are family made in America. Look for Repelzol products at these fine stores. Aiken Back Garden Center, Pottstown, PA. Westchester Agway, Westchester, PA. Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Come on for another hour, right?
Julio, we're talking too much again. Matt, there's so much to fill in.
I know.
But
He could
I
be
want
here
to
for
talk
3
about,
hours.
first of all, pop-up gardens. During the break, I had mentioned pop-up gardens is the perfect place to take a date.
That's right.
You know?
like
So, when did pop-up gardens start?
So pop-up garden started around 2011, 2012. I don't know the specific year.
Right.
And they were really an idea PHS wanted to reach people throughout the year. So we have the flower show in March, but in the rest of the year, we're doing lots of stuff, but it's kind of hard to see us.
Right.
So we launched these 2 food and drink gardens. They're beer gardens, they're restaurants, but they're also great gardens. One in 15th and South, and then we've had another that actually is closing this year in University City. And we'll add a new one next year at a location to be announced.
Okay.
And what these gardens are, they're beautiful gardens, perennials, annuals, vegetables. They have food and drink, so beer, food, etc. And you can come there and hang out. You can come there for gardening workshops. You can come there and do plant swaps with experts.
Brett, you need to go to the pop-up gardens. We need to find you a date.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
can you think of a better place? You know, it's
I got
got
a girlfriend, so yeah, I'll bring her.
yeah, you're working something. All right, bring her to the pop-up garden. You know, you'll be a hero.
Really, really wonderful places to connect with plants and connect with other people and enjoy.
And the workshops that you have. I mean, I went to go to the calendar just to check the events. My gosh, there's everything from was it candle making or wax something?
Candle
and-
making, basically anything to get you connected with plants and nature and using it in your life to express creativity, to connect with other people, to do positive things. So lots going on.
A lot, and just simply because we often talk about there's no such thing as a brown thumb, but people are intimidated by plants, and that this way they can do artistic things without necessarily it's connected to plants, but not in a direct line where it's more artistic. And again, right, our buildings or plants are the right. They're the canvas, the plants are the color, and just working towards those things and all that artistic release through what PHS does in those training sessions is not just, this is Metasequoia glyptus stroboides. You need to know the botanical name, and if you don't, you're a fool.
It's really trying to just make people feel comfortable interacting with plants, cultivating them, and then pursuing that interest all the way, right?
Yep.
Find something you're passionate about and keep learning and keep growing and keep gardening. And I always say that cultivating a plant is one of the special things that even if you do it just for yourself, it has a benefit to all of us because it's cleaning the air, it's serving wildlife.
Right.
And so there's not many things in the world that we can do just for us
Right.
and actually somehow help all of us. And that's one of the reasons PHS believes that everyone really should be cultivating plants and finding it to be a way to help themselves and help the broader world.
As a garden center, we're always trying to, how do we reach out to millennials? How do we do this? Millennials are reaching out to us because they want house plants and they want things that we thought were dead from the 70s are now back. I mean, I wasn't there for the first go around, but it's coming back where the demand on succulents is still alive, and what it's done is spread to more house plants. I'm seeing like 15-year-old boys coming in with their mother and buying plants so they can put them in their room. I mean, that's just an amazing thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's really amazing. And one of the things we found, certainly the houseplant craze is real, and Instagram, I think, has helped that.
Mm-hmm.
But also people who might not be interested in gardening are becoming interested when they see that gardening as a way to take care of the environment, to produce their own food, to get exercise. So saying like, you may not have thought about gardening, but there's something positive you want to do in the world. Gardening's actually a tool that you can do it with. You want to take care of pollinators? Well, plant some pollinator-friendly plants.
Yeah.
And so gardening becomes an answer to things that people are concerned about in the world.
Yeah, and there you go. Do your part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buy a plant.
Buy a plant.
You'll enjoy it, and you'll help the rest of us. Planting trees is a great example, right?
Yes.
People who are concerned about warming of the climate, people who are concerned about water quality. Planting trees is an incredibly effective thing to do, and it's enjoyable for you.
That's it. One of the it's somebody who I know, Steve Mastardi. Steve, you listening out there? If not, you should be. Mastardi's Nursery. It's in Newtown Square, and I've known Steve on a professional level, just like nursery to nursery. He said, "Hey, how you doing? How was your year?" That kind of thing. I didn't realize that he was in charge of the gold medal plant program.
Yeah. So Steve Mastardi sits on our board of directors at Pennsylvania Horticultural Society and chairs the Gold Medal Plant Committee. And this committee is a group of expert horticulturists from Philadelphia region, but also beyond, who come together once a year and identify woody plants and perennials that are really great garden plants and great for growing here in our region. And it's an awesome program. It's basically like your smartest friends getting together and telling you, based on our experience, these are some plants that we would recommend to everyone.
I mean, that's fantastic, because so often we have people that, like you said, Instagram, they see something and it's not hardy in our area. It doesn't, where this list of plants does specifically well in Delaware Valley, I guess.
Exactly.
Our zone, all
Our
of those
zone,
other
yes.
things.
Yes, very much focused on Delaware Valley. It was a program started long ago by J. Franklin Steyer, which was a fantastic nursery.
Yeah.
And then PHS, with Steve's encouragement and leadership, has really nurtured it over the years.
Go Steve. Go Steve. And so you can go online and see the list of plants that are past award winners. I know that right now there's that Kusa Wolf Eyes, which is it's a variegated dogwood with good variegation, and it's a Kusa dogwood, so it does get a flower, but it's that leaf contrast that is really, really intense.
Extraordinary. And the next round will get announced in just a couple weeks at an event open to our members that we'll host at Meadowbrook Farm, and then we'll feature all of the gold medal plants at the flower show.
Oh, wow.
Incredible. Membership costs how much these days?
So we have a base level membership that starts at $35. That gets you our magazine and is really an investment in our mission.
It's cheap.
Then there's membership tiers starting at $60 that include flower show tickets. So really looking at phsonline.org and sort of seeing what benefits you're most interested in, you can find the right level. But $35 is the entry price, and anybody who loves gardening or wants to use gardening for the greater good, we encourage to join.
And many independent garden centers throughout the area have programs where you get discounts if you are a member. For instance, Bloomers does, I think it's 20% discount if you're a member and such.
Thank you for participating, and yes, it's a great way to.
We are doing a small part. I mean, the amount that you guys do is just incredible. We're glad, we're not worthy.
It's a team effort. We really believe
play a little part, huh?
every business.
A little part.
That's it. I tell you what, it's just so deep and vast. You can't fit it on the website. There's so much. All right, we've got another break coming up. Again, this is going really quick. When we come back, we're going to talk about PHS trees in the Tree Tenders program right after this.
Visit Bloomer's Home and Garden Center for the best selection of summer flowering perennials anywhere. Coneflowers in colors as vast as the rainbow. Reblooming daylilies in all the best varieties. Giant hardy hibiscus with flowers that measure 12 inches across. Make sure to visit our water garden department. Fish plants and water treatments that will keep your pond beautiful and crystal clear. Thinking about a new filter, UV, or water feature? Bloomers has them all in stock. Need to replace that sterilizer bulb? Bloomers carries a wide selection to match your model UV. Fall decorations are starting to roll in. Wind chimes, flags, and more. Bloomers has been selected the best of the best garden center by South Jersey Magazine. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township today. Just 30 minutes from Philadelphia. Find more information at bloomers.com. That's bloomers.com.
Tired of pale green, weedy results from four-step lawn programs? That's because they don't do anything for the soil. The New American Lawn four-step program feeds the lawn and the soil. Magical Plus, a unique soil food that adjusts soil pH, loosens hard soil, and feeds soil microbes, is the key difference. Without the right soil conditions, you'll never enjoy a great lawn. Competitive programs simply don't match up. So feed your lawn and your soil with the New American Lawn four-step program by Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green products can be found at these fine stores: Action Hardware, Wilmington, Delaware; Hockessin Hardware, Hockessin, Delaware; Gasper's Garden Center, Richboro, Pennsylvania.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Well, we are back. Time is flying by. You touched on trees. Trees are very, very important. They're not just tall things that blow over. All right, everybody. Okay, plant trees. PHS trees. Start from there.
Yeah. So planting trees, PHS is really at the core about unlocking the potential of gardening for the greater good. So for us individually, as we talked about, but also in the community. And planting trees is one of the most powerful things that we can do. So we plant trees, we make our streets and neighborhoods cooler and more beautiful. We help the broader environment. We create wildlife habitat. And it's also just fun to go and plant a tree together with neighbors and prune it and take care of it. So we have a program called Tree Tenders that works in more than 80 neighborhoods to train and educate volunteers to come together and plant street trees and water them and prune them and take care of them. And we plant between 1,500 and 2,000 trees a year across the region through that program. It's really awesome, and it's a good example of just many people from many walks of life coming together to improve their neighborhoods. We help support with education and to cut the pits and to plant the trees and to guide, but they do it. And then we also do a similar thing in watersheds, so stream valleys, river corridors, where volunteer groups want to do plantings. We'll support them with money and expertise to get plants in the ground.
Wow. You know, and you do this in all neighborhoods. It's not just, I'm going to say it's not just in the rich neighborhoods.
No, we very much, PHS, its community work has a really strong commitment to making sure that the support we're providing is available to everyone. So, and Tree Tenders is a good example where communities of all different income levels, different levels of density, et cetera, are all participating. So you could, when we plant trees the second weekend in November this year, you could be in Chestnut Hill, you could be in Tioga, North Philadelphia, you could be in South Philly or Center City, and tree tenders are in all those places coming together.
That's great.
You could be in Bryn Mawr. They're all coming together, volunteering and doing the exact same thing, which is putting trees in the ground and taking care of them for the benefit of everyone.
Again, I have a daughter who lives in Philadelphia, and that she lives in Northern Liberties. And as a dad, I'm across the river, and I want her to come across the river.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to get her there, just simply because, her backyard is an oasis of trees in the middle of Philadelphia. And it's amazing on how your neighborhoods improve by just the addition of some trees and some canopy cover. Not to mention, you mentioned water and what it does for water. Can you touch on that?
Yeah. So we really believe that planting things is a good way to, as we've talked about, sort of inspire your life and also improve the life of everyone. And one of the things that we solve is stormwater management. So in a heavily built region like ours, stormwater hits the ground and it's going to go into the sewer system, which can have some negative impacts and is just sort of a waste of energy. So we have a program called Rain Check that basically is a Philadelphia Water Department program that we manage in partnership with them. And what Rain Check does is help people manage stormwater at home. So put in permeable patio pavers, plant rain gardens, put in rain barrels and downspout planters, so that when that stormwater hits their roof or their property, it's not going into the sewer, it's going into the earth where it can be naturally filtered and returned to the water cycle.
Beautiful.
And that's incredible, because some of these retrofitted items are actually free or at a reduced price.
So in the city of Philadelphia, this Rain Check is a Philadelphia Water Department program, and they will subsidize or underwrite the cost of many of these additions. So homeowners come to a workshop that we offer, learn about the opportunities, and then if they're interested and they qualify, the Sustainable Business Network of Philadelphia matches them to a trained contractor, and the water department pays a portion of the cost. It's a really awesome program.
Folks, more than just a flower show.
Yeah,
that's an incredible thing.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, just simply because you're harnessing that rain, and people will sometimes wonder, it's like, how am I going to get my hose from the, and then it's right there.
Yeah.
That's an awesome thing. And again, what trees do for a community, it's just magical. It's magical.
One of the programs we haven't talked about is we have a vacant land program that takes care of 12,000 vacant lots across Philadelphia.
12,000.
Wow.
Not 12, 12,000.
Cleans them, plants grass and trees, puts up a simple post and rail fence, and then we maintain them once or twice a month. And this is a way for, we also use it as a place for Roots Tree entry graduates to work and small landscape contractors to build their business abilities and grow. But one of the reason I mention this is that program has been shown to really improve people's mental health, reduce depression, get them interacting with neighbors, and planting trees does the same thing. So if your street is beating in the sun and cooking, the likelihood you're going to hang out and build strong relationship with neighbors is a lot less than if there's a tree canopy and you feel comfortable and cool sitting outside. And through those relationships, we all know the benefits that accrue from having good relationships with people.
That's right. That's right. Unfortunately, we have to take another break. We'll be right back right after this.
All right.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Well, Julio, down by the schoolyard. Matt, thing you touched on is about the mental health benefits of having gardens in your area. And I'm still hung up on the number of 12,000 vacant lots have been converted into these gardens.
Wow.
And how do people, like if they have a vacant lot or they want a tree, or how do they get involved in this program?
PHSonline.org is your best place to start for anything. And if you can't find your answer, there's a good email address there that you can reach out to, and we'll try to get back to you.
And thank you for putting the officers, for lack of a better word, or committee members' contact information on the site. Sometimes I've been to sites where it makes it so darn hard to find who do I get in touch with. But you have everybody listed. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wow, Julio, we have flew by today, Matt. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Matt.
I know you're a busy man. In March, after the flower show,
Yes.
I want to get you back in if it's at all possible.
Oh, that'd be great.
If there's one thing that you would like to leave with our audience.
Grow something, plant something, grow it, care for it, even if it's on your countertop by your sink. It's a wonderful thing to do.
There you go.
Wow.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it. Well, we'll see you next week in the garden.
See you in the garden.
The first person to survive Alzheimer's disease is out there. They might even be listening to this right now. Maybe they're waiting for the traffic light to change. Maybe they're daydreaming about a trip they've planned with their family. Maybe they're in a toddler seat, strapped in, and wondering if they're almost home. That first survivor is out there, and they're going to hold on to everything the disease steals away. And the Alzheimer's Association is going to make it happen by funding research, advancing public policy, and spurring scientific breakthroughs, and by providing local support right now to those living with the disease and their caregivers, we're easing the burden for all those facing it until we accomplish our goal. Alzheimer's disease has devastated millions of lives, but that's all going to change when we reach the first survivor. But we won't get there without you. Visit alz.org to join the fight.